Super Survivor Sunday, January 28, 2001. The Eyewitness News team is ready for one of the biggest nights in television history.
And I'm Denise Saunders. Beasley and I are reporting live from Tampa, Florida.
Hi, I'm Stensland reporting from the best voted party for the Super Bowl and Survivor. We'll tell you why it's the best coming up.
I'm Siani Lee. You've just won the Super Bowl office pool, but guess who wants a cut? Uncle Sam. That story on Eye on Your Money.
I'm Ren Scott. Tonight we put a major airlines into the KYW3 Eyewitness News Hall of Shame.
All that and the news that hits home very hard in Media, Delaware County. Eyewitness News begins right now.
Live from KYW3 Philadelphia, this is Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Larry Kane. This is Eyewitness News at 11 on Super Sunday and one of the biggest nights in TV history. The Baltimore Ravens beat the New York Giants 34-7 in the Super Bowl, and kickoff for Survivor 2, the Australian Outback. The Ravens, the world champions of football tonight, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, the Super Bowl rings, the whole package. The Ravens' defense was too strong for the Giants, and tonight, the Baltimore Ravens earned their spot in football history. Right now, Eyewitness News anchor Denise Saunders joins us live from Tampa and the site of the Super Bowl with more on tonight's excitement. Denise?
I'm on the field, Larry. Can you believe it? At the second-yard line. I'll tell you, what an exciting game, what an exciting weekend. The headline on the St. Petersburg Times says it all. First party, then play, and play they did to thousands of fans who jammed inside here, the Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa tonight. Some fans are still here, matter of fact, perhaps the Giants fans still stunned over the loss. And as the game came to an end tonight, it was clear who won. They were the loudest leaving the stadium, and the losers, well, they were a little bitter.
Oh, it was fabulous. We're the Super Bowl champions. My God. It's the best.
Giants are the team, though.
No, they are. Oh, no, the Ravens.
got lucky.
Lucky, we played well. Oh, don't listen to him.
You ever hear of the 1919 White Sox? We have the 2001 Black Giants. That quarterback threw the game. Tell him, Mike, he threw the game, Mike.
But enough about the fans. Let's get straight to the game highlights with Eyewitness sports anchor Beasley Reece, who, by the way, in case you didn't know, used to play for the New York Giants. Beasley, what happened to your team?
You know what happened? They ran into the best defense in the history of the National Football League. I am very comfortable with that statement. The Baltimore Ravens put on quite a show today. Now, I think the turning point in this game is the play you're about to witness right now. It was 17-0. They came back from the half, and the Giants ran a touchdown back, and then the Ravens answered. Jermaine Lewis taking it all the way to the house, an 84-yard touchdown run. From that point on, the Giants had nothing. They had no heart. They had no effort. I think they quit after that. There was nothing they could do, and they knew it. So I think that was definitely the turning point in this football game. The Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the league.
What was
right
that?
Now,
what was that?
The Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the league right now.
Thank you very much, Beasley Reece. Well, as the Super Bowl weekend wraps up, we found a lot of people who traveled a long way to the game and were here at the stadium but didn't have tickets to see the game.
One ticket, that's it.
We saw them all weekend long.
One ticket.
I saw more of them even as the game between the Giants and the Ravens got underway. Not the sellers, but the buyers willing to pay top price for a Super Bowl ticket.
Look at this, look at this, look at this.
You are ready.
We are ready, willing and able.
Are that desperate to go to the Super Bowl?
Desperate.
Desperate for Ed Latour from Clearwater, Florida, and Dennis Turpin of Watertown, New York, who was puzzled by the lack of sellers.
I went to 2 other Super Bowls without a ticket, and I was able to get in. And I did quite well. This one here has been rough.
So rough, some people just held up their fingers, and some added humor to the process by wearing their signs on their heads.
It's just tough. We've been doing 9 Super Bowls, and this is the toughest one yet.
Don Cadigan, who traveled from Chicago without a ticket, gave this explanation.
New York. There's way too much money in New York. They're just spending whatever they can spend on anything they can get.
So those out of luck resorted to this: lawn chairs and a TV outside the stadium, and a video recorder to record what they could of their trip to the Super Bowl.
No tickets to the game.
This is the best ticket.
This is the ticket.
TV.
All the fun is outside. We get to see all the commercials, Everyone's paid a lot of money, and this is the show.
That was Paige Ellis from Gainesville, Florida, who said she had the best seat in the house, and I must admit, so did I. Larry, this was my first Super Bowl experience, and just like the Ravens, it will be a day I will never forget. Live from the Super Bowl from Tampa, Florida, I'm Denise Saunders, KYW3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Denise. And Beasley will be back later in sports for more on Super Bowl 35. And competition of a different kind is also capturing nationwide attention tonight. The premiere of the new Survivor, the Outback. The 16 new survivors started facing their challenges in Australia's remote outback. The first challenge is getting to their camps. The two tribes of Kucha and Okakor have camps 4 miles apart. And as you can see, it was quite a trek to get there.
We kept going the wrong way.
It was a little intimidating. I was afraid, good grief, what if I get so winded that I can't keep up?
That was a long trek we had through deep sand with a lot of heavy equipment, and I was packing more weight than anyone else, so I was really struggling.
And voted out of the Outback, Deb Eaton, the prison guard from New Hampshire, an embarrassing distinction, by the way, to be the first to be kicked out. Survivor of the Super Bowl. Either way, it's a Super Sunday for parties. All last week, KYW3 and 94 WISP, the rock station, searched for the mother of all parties tonight so we could take you there. Eyewitness News anchor Dawn Stensland is live now at Damo and Tony's Big Bash in Glassboro, New Jersey. Tough assignment, Dawn.
Real tough, Larry, and I am at the mother of all parties. Welcome to Tony and Damo's award-winning party. Why is it the best? Well, come with me, not just because of these folks here. Come on, let's go. Come on, we're going to take you upstairs. Some 120 people at this party. Here's the upstairs crew. Woo! Is this a great party or what? They're cheering because, hey, they're not starving on Survivor Island. They're chowing down at Tony and Damo's award-winning Super Bowl Survivor Party.
We have all the meatballs you could possibly eat in one sitting. We've got aged beef cooked to perfection. We have hot roast beef, au jus. We have sausage and peppers, delectable, very, very hard to maintain a good quality. And, of course, the best chicken wings this side of the Delaware River.
The awesome door prizes and custom T-shirts are another reason Tony and Damo's party rules. And then there's the romance.
I'm Tony of Damo and Tony 8, and we got engaged during the Super Bowl at halftime on Damo and Tony 6.
He's a romantic guy, huh? Yes, very romantic.
All right.
I was being sarcastic, but you find it...
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, too.
A sense of humor is a prerequisite when you're marrying a guy who makes video invitations like this one with his best buddy. But will Tony and Damo's friendship survive Tony's marriage? And would Damo ever survive as a castaway on Survivor Island?
I don't think so. I've become addicted to my refrigerator, and I love it in a way that I can't mention on live TV. But I think that I have a lot of respect for the people that are on Survivor Island.
They all have a lot of respect. Larry, all I can tell you is I'm coming here next year for next year's party. Larry, back to you.
Thank you, Dawn. And starting this week, you'll be able to catch Survivor on Thursday nights. That will be at 8 o'clock right here on KYW3. And every Thursday on Eyewitness News at 11, a special Survivor Extra Report. 5 minutes of special Survivor coverage, the latest secrets behind the scenes. And by the way, a special surprise. You don't want to miss Eyewitness News Survivor Extra on Eyewitness News Thursday nights. Well, miracles among the devastation from an enormous earthquake in India. A family suffers twice in the fire and smoke in Delaware County, and an airline clips the wings of disabled passengers. Eyewitness News has a shame on you report. Carol?
A little bit warmer trend and a little wetter trend for the upcoming week. The 5-day forecast is ahead.
Watching Eyewitness News at 11.
Shame. 2 young children killed today at a house fire in Delaware County. They were visiting their great-grandmother. She was cooking chicken. Somehow a grease fire started. and raced through the house. Eyewitness News reporter Lesley van Arsdall has the story from Media, Delaware County.
The flames in the deadly, fast-moving fire only took 20 minutes to put out. But this bed hanging from the second-floor window tells the grim tale of the outcome. Fire tore through the Media home on West Franklin Road just before noon, and before it was over, 2 small children, ages 3 and 4, trapped in a second-story bedroom, were killed. The youngsters were apparently visiting their great-grandmother, Alice Durnell, who officials say had been frying chicken in the kitchen when a grease fire spread upstairs and spread into the children's room.
A tragedy like this not only destroyed a family, but a sense of security in the neighborhood.
House is on fire. Neighbor Amy Shaw knows that too well. The new mother got a terrible first-hand glimpse of just how quickly life can change and end.
I have a 15-month-old, so that makes it, I think, more devastating being a mother, knowing that somebody just lost 2 children.
But this close-knit neighborhood stuck together, with some attempting to rescue the children before intense flames drove them from the roof of the house. Grieving family members came back to the gutted house, unable to fathom the enormity of their loss. 2 young lives taken so quickly on a Sunday afternoon. From Media, Lesley van Arsdall, KYW3 Eyewitness News.
2 American college campuses are in mourning tonight, one because of a plane crash that killed 10 people. The university is Oklahoma State. The plane, a twin engine, crashed in a snowstorm in Colorado, scattering wreckage for a quarter mile. 8 of the people killed were connected to the Oklahoma State basketball program. 2 were players. The plane was flying back to Oklahoma after the team played a Big 12 conference game in Boulder. Federal investigators are now on the scene trying to find out why the plane crashed. And on the East Coast, Dartmouth College is in shock tonight. 2 professors dead, both murdered. The bodies of Suzanne Zantop and her husband Hoff were discovered in their home last night in a remote part of Hanover, New Hampshire. Police still aren't saying how the couple was killed. Colleagues say the professors were popular on campus, known for entertaining many guests in their home. The U.S. is sending $5 million worth of help to India tonight to deal with the aftermath of a huge earthquake there. Officials say more than 20,000 people could be dead. Today, rescue workers in western India found 3 people alive, including 1 child pulled from a crushed building without a scratch. Thousands more, though, buried in rubble from Friday's 7.9 magnitude earthquake. The mysterious disappearance of atheist Madeleine Murray O'Hare may finally be solved. Today, investigators found human remains at a ranch in Campwood, Texas. Remains they believe are O'Hare and 2 members of her family. The 3 vanished in 1995, and police now believe they were killed on that ranch. In the 60s, O'Hare became very famous for her court battles to ban prayer in public schools in America. Coming up, Carol's forecast. And shame on you points the finger at what happened to a disabled passenger at Philadelphia Airport. And what you need to know if you won big bucks tonight in a Super Bowl pool. The government wants you. When Eyewitness News continues. Tonight, a new installment of Shame on You. A disabled family returns from a dream vacation to Florida, but the treatment they receive at Philadelphia Airport is nothing short of a nightmare. As Eyewitness News anchor Ren Scott shows us, it lands a major airline tonight in the KYW3 Hall of Shame.
Shame, 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 shame on you.
Tiffany Richmond, who suffers from cerebral palsy, just returned from a dream vacation to Disney World. Disney World, she says, was all she'd ever dreamed of, but the return to Philadelphia International Airport for her and her mother, who is also disabled, suffering from multiple sclerosis, was a nightmare.
What I wanted her to remember was the fun and the happiness that she had there, and what the last thing she remembers, everybody yelling and screaming.
The trip was paid for by a charitable organization called the Sunshine Foundation, and American Airlines, using its American Eagle service, donated the flights. In other airports, the Richmonds say, the Eagle flights pulled up the jetways or used special lifts to help them get on and off the plane. But in Philadelphia, Tiffany and her mother say they had to struggle down stairs that were rolled up to the plane.
They were wet and slippery, which added to the problem. I mean, at home, we have a stair glide. We can't even go up and down our own steps. So going up and down wet metal steps was not a thing for us to be doing. We can't walk on dry land.
Now, the Richmonds say before the plane arrived, the flight attendants did call ahead for wheelchairs, but they say
After literally crawling down the stairs of this plane, there were no wheelchairs, and they were left standing in the rain. About 10 minutes later, they said a woman did arrive with a wheelchair, but they also say the disrespect for these two disabled passengers, well, it only got worse. As the attendant began pushing the wheelchair into the terminal, the Richmonds claim, she was reprimanded by a supervisor for earlier refusing to go out in the rain. With that, Nancy Richmond says the attendant let go of her wheelchair and left her in the middle of a ramp.
It doesn't make you feel like your life is very worthwhile. And, I mean, just because we have a physical disability doesn't mean we aren't human beings and we don't have feelings.
The company that provides wheelchair service for American is Argent Bright Security. After hearing from Eyewitness News, both Argent Bright and American have apologized to the Richmonds, saying this was an outrage, and we will launch a full-scale investigation to find out what happened and make sure it never happens again. But the Richmonds say that's not enough to keep these two companies out of the Eyewitness News Hall of Shame.
Argent Bright Security and American Airlines. Shame, shame, shame on you.
Shame, 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 shame on you.
Now, we commend both Argent Bright and American Airlines for their quick response once Eyewitness News got involved. But in the future, we hope we do not have to get involved for any disabled passenger to be treated with compassion and with respect. Now, if you have a candidate for the KYW3 Hall of Shame, you can call our Shame on You hotline. At this number, it is 215-238-4728, or you can log on to our website at kyw.com, click on the Shame on You icon, and suggest a story. And Larry, both American and Argent Bright say they will use this case as part of their sensitivity training to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work by Carol Erickson. Her Super Sunday began at about 5 o'clock in the morning. What a long day you have, Carol. How you doing?
Oh, Larry, I'm used to it, and I'm doing fine. Thank you. What a gorgeous night it is out here. We had 37 degrees today, a little bit breezy out there with winds getting up to 24 miles an hour, at least occasionally. We'd see a gust that high, but tonight things are calming down. We have a beautiful shot here at the Camden waterfront tonight. The temperatures just about the freezing mark in Philadelphia, and lower than that already. It's going to be a cold night coming up. 32 degrees presently in the city, 56% humidity, wind out of the west-northwest at 6, and the barometer is steady, 30.33 inches. It's 29 right now in Willow Grove, 27 in Wilmington, already dropping down to 21 degrees in Millville. When you see temperatures like this just after 11 o'clock at night, you know you've got a very cold night ahead of you, and particularly by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll be looking at some very low readings all over the area. Not too many clouds, one of the reasons that the temperatures will be dropping so much. And it looks like we'll have a very nice day tomorrow, and then we start to see the weather change coming in here. There's a very large low pressure system. It's coming in here. It's going to be spreading in some warmer weather as well. The warmer term is a little bit relative because maybe we'll hit 50 degrees, but certainly that's enough to keep this precipitation in the form of rain and not snow. But one exception to that, maybe a couple of exceptions to that, the Poconos and Bucks and Montgomery and Mercer counties and Berks and Lehigh counties, you may see a little bit of freezing rain to start this as we go past the midnight hour Monday night on into the early morning hours of Tuesday. So just watch for that. And then later on Tuesday, right along the shore, maybe you'll hear a thunderstorm out there. So this is a very active area of weather. It's brought a lot of snow, now some warmer air coming in even across the rest of the country, and that's what's going to be spreading in our direction. So look for rain out of this, and maybe a lot of rain. Now tonight, clear, very cold, 22 degrees and even a little bit lower in some of the outlying areas. Make sure you protect your pets against all this cold weather that we have every single night. Sun and clouds tomorrow, 38 degrees, light winds for a change tomorrow, and then our 5-day forecast. After midnight on Mondays, as we head towards Tuesday morning, we start to pick up the chance of some rain. It will be windy, could be seeing a lot of rain on Tuesday, 49 degrees. By Wednesday, though, 52 degrees, partly cloudy. Thursday, what is this? More rain possible? Yes, 45 degrees. And then by Friday, Larry, we're looking for partly cloudy skies and 42 degrees.
Thank you, Carol. The Super Bowl brings out the gambler in a lot of sports fans, but who will win the point spread? The tough part, wrestling with your conscience, and Uncle Sam. Here's money specialist and anchor Siani Lee to explain to you tonight. Siani?
Larry, hey, you just won that Super Bowl office pool. Great, right? But Uncle Sam has some bad news. Here's what you can bet on when it comes to all that cash in office pools or whatever pool you're in. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest events of the year in the gambling industry, and this year's bets are expected to shatter previous records. The fact is, though, the only place where legal sports betting is allowed is Nevada. The IRS keeps close tabs of the money won in these situations for its cut, but the law says gambling is gambling, so the same rule applies to your office. No matter where you work or where your pool is, it doesn't matter if you've won $10 or $1,000 in your pool, you must report it. Here's the good news. You can deduct your losses as long as they're not more than your winnings, but most people don't report these pools, so the IRS is really the big loser during the Super Bowl. Larry, back to you.
Thanks, Siani. Up next, Steve Bucci's got Eyewitness Sports. What a sports night. Quoth the Raven nevermore, but not these Ravens. They win, and big. New York is crushed. Steve with the Super Bowl highlights up next.
Studying the opposing team, you know what a quick traffic could be.
And now, Eyewitness Sports with Steve Bucci.
The Baltimore Ravens are the Super Bowl champs. That may not shock you, but did anyone think it would be a super blowout? Raise your hand. I know you didn't. Put your hand down, Larry Kane. Defensive struggle, low scoring. Ha! The Ravens bragged and strutted right up until kickoff. Ray Lewis says, this is our turf. I think that's what he's saying right there. Kerry Collins picked off by Dwayne Starks, and he is on his way. 48-yard score. Would you believe it was 17-0? The Giants do manage to get up off the canvas. Ensuing kickoff. The Giants' Ron Dixon. Stop me, Eagle fans, if you've seen this before. Ron Dixon goes 97 yards for a score. Suddenly, the Giants are back in it. It's 17-7. Jim Fossil says, come on. Or are they back in it? Ensuing kickoff. The Ravens' Jermaine Lewis this time. Watch what he does. Yep, he's going all the way. What a flurry of scoring. 3 touchdowns in 36 seconds. It's a Super Bowl record. And Ray Lewis, the Super Bowl MVP, oh, by the way, says, read it and weep. The Ravens win in a blowout, 34-7. The Sixers' road streak continues. They made it 13 in a row today by beating Indiana. That's the 5th best road winning streak in league history. As usual, the All-Star guard led the way. Allen, baseline for a tough hoop. Iverson scored 27 points, 16 of them coming in a decisive fourth quarter. Watch him come up with the steal, and then he'll finish it off on the other end with the layup. Sixers win at 86-81, 13 straight on the road, and this might have been the play of the game. Allen and Larry Brown hugging. Can you believe it? Winning sure breeds harmony, doesn't it? Meanwhile, the Flyers' winning streak comes to an end. They lost the Super Sunday showdown in the nation's capital. Flyers and the Capitals. Sergei Gonchar's shot tipped in by Adam Oates, and that gave the Caps a 3-1 lead in the third. Bush not happy about it at all. Fly Guys get one of them back. Simone Gagne leaves it for Mark Recchi. What a shot. Oh, that's a great shot, Mark Recchi. But the Flyers got no closer. Ole the goalie calls it, coming up huge. 33 saves, 4-2 Caps. The final. Coming up on Sports Wrap. Beasley live in Tampa with post-game interviews and analysis. G. Cobb in the studio with his take. Is this the best defense ever? We'll debate that topic. We'll also talk Sixers. We won't be talking Survivor, so it is safe to join us coming up.
Still raising my hand.
You're still raising your hand?
Instead of anybody predicted a blowout. When we come back, Lebec Fenn trying to build on its recipe for success. Changes in the kitchen at Philadelphia's finest restaurant next. One of Philadelphia, and actually one of the world's most famous chefs, is hanging up his apron. Now, I bet you I can't do that. That was Georges Perrier last October celebrating the 30th anniversary of his restaurant, Lebec Fenn. Now Perrier says he's turning over Lebec Fenn's kitchen to another chef because, in his words, he's tired, old, and his 2 other restaurants to run. What do you mean? He's 58. That's old? Never fear. Perrier will remain as owner. Will the food change? The atmosphere? Perrier says no. But stay tuned. This is a big one for the lower budget fans. A global culinary secret may be out of the bag. We're talking about the Colonel's secret recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken. A Kentucky couple, Tommy and Cherry Settle, now live in the home once owned by the real Colonel Sanders. They say they found handwritten notes in the house, including the recipe for 11 herbs and spices. This is big. KFC is filing a lawsuit trying to get the handwritten notes, saying only a handful of people know the secret recipe. For now, the piece of paper at the center of all this is locked in a courthouse safe. And for KFC, this is a much bigger hit than Lebec Fenn, believe me. That's Eyewitness News at 11. Eyewitness News returns tomorrow morning at 5. Join us in the morning. Pick up the daily news and tune in to 92.5 WXTU to enter our Survivor contest. You can can win a trip to Australia. Sports Wrap is next with Steve Bucci, G. Cobb, Beasley, Reece, and Tampa. For the entire Eyewitness News team, have a great night, and thanks for being with us.